Welcome to arguably the worst season in the Walking Dead Telltale franchise. It has its good, but it also has plenty of bad moments. Some things are improved from the last season, but this season also created many more problems for itself. I'm going to go through each and tell you why. As soon as you start the game up, you'll get this screen right here. I feel like this is a nice touch that we did not get in Season 2. It's pretty nice to have this, and it's a lot more convenient than having to go and play on a different console or device. Too bad none of that matters anyways, considering halfway through Episode 1, we lose the characters we saved in the last season in some cheap-ass death.
I know it sucks.
No, seriously. This is the biggest slap to the fans' faces I've ever seen from Telltale. Jane uncharacteristically kills herself, and Kenny dies from a car accident in which he didn't have a seatbelt on, but for some reason AJ didn't get flown out through the window, neither did Clementine. Which makes me wonder why the fuck they even put the story generator in the game whatsoever, because again, your choices don't matter. They really don't matter much to this story. On top of that, it's disgusting how they did this on the first episode of the fucking game. The way it should have been played out to actually make the story interesting and to make your choices from the previous season matter, they should have had Episode 1 flashback with Kenny or Jane alive. Episode 2, same thing, and keep doing that until Episode 5. And in the final episode is when you should have had the flashback of their death, not the first fucking episode. On top of that, it would have added suspense, it would have added mystery to where these characters went, and it would have been like a AJ situation. But at least this one would have been interesting, and I wouldn't be pissed off this entire season that our choices didn't matter, especially for Season 2. This also brings me to another point, Clementine. Although I really like the fact that she is in this story, I feel like Telltale only put her in so that fans would not go after them, because literally Clementine does nothing. She adds almost nothing to the story. Most of the time she's off doing her own thing. There's just something about her, but they made her too edgy. They tried too hard to make her careless and cold about people's feelings that it usually would just wind up with me cringing in my seat, because why does she have to be edgy? I don't get it. Especially when all she does is stare at you or others with a blank stare. And yes, we get it. She's pissed off at people. I don't have to see this for 3 fucking seasons in a row. And after Episode 2, we don't get a lot of interaction with Clementine. They really should have thought about cutting Clementine out of this story, because she adds nothing to the story except fans' approval. She's the fan favorite character. Everyone loves Clementine. In the previous seasons, she actually added to them. In Season 1, she was fully realized as an example of a father and daughter dynamic in video games. Season 2, she was cast as the main protagonist. But what is she in A New Frontier? A limb that it feels like the series cannot cut loose. She's got little presence, like I said before. She's got almost no consequence to any of the plot. She's basically just a distraction from Javier's story, so people get a nostalgic trip down memory lane again. She's only here because the series literally can't find a way to get her away from it. They can't say goodbye to Clementine. Don't get me wrong, I like Clementine just as much as the next person does, but hey, she really should have not been in this story. Now that that's out of the way, it's time to look at Javier's story.
David, hey!
Javier is introduced immediately after starting up the game. He's the main protagonist and he's the playable character of the series. Eventually you find out that Javier was not able to see his dad before his death. Ultimately, David gets pissed off, beats the shit out of him, and everyone hates him. You get to see what Javier and David's family are like. The Garcias. The problem is, we're not given enough time to care about any of these characters. Most of them die off right away, except for Kate, Javi, Mariana, and Gabe. I just wanted to say this really quickly as well. This is how you do cinematography for The Walking Dead right here. The camera is shaky, it seems claustrophobic, there's people screaming, the kids are running around, you can't find Mariana, the dad's alive and attacking people, 2 people are bit, and Javier is forced to hit his dad. This is the type of stress we need in The Walking Dead, but unfortunately, it goes down from here. You don't get that stress for the rest of the game, you don't get this type of cinematography for the rest of the game, it's just all thrown out the window from here.
The side of the road.
So after they die, there's a time skip, and eventually Javier loses his family, blah blah blah. Clementine drops a fucking tree down. I don't know how that's possible, but she does it without any tools. Javier makes Clementine, he goes to Prescott, everyone gets mad because Eli's shot, and then Javier makes it back to the junkyard, and what happens? Mariana is shot. Right after the flashback with Clementine. And honestly, they gave us no time at all to care about Mariana. Instead of being sad about her death, I was more pissed off at Telltale for literally killing off 2 characters in less than a span of 20 minutes. Kenny or Jane or Edith die, and then Mariana dies. Episode 2 introduces us to some new characters, such as Jesus. They also start working a little bit on people's personality, like Conrad and Tripp. But ultimately, this just doesn't matter if you choose to kill Conrad at the end of the episode. Personally, I didn't, and they really work off of that choice. And different things can turn out from this, which I'll get into this in a minute. The problem this episode had is that it was just a big exposition dump with nothing really interesting except for the start and the very end, which I can't even say the end was that interesting because at this point I did not care about David whatsoever, so it wasn't that interesting that he came back to me. This is a lot different than what episode 2 was in The Walking Dead Season 2, where Kenny came back, because people actually like Kenny. Kenny was in a previous season. We got to learn a lot about Kenny and his life and his family. I don't really know that much about David because all we got was like a 15-minute scene with him before the game.
Fucking Garcias! Oh, you took my goddamn.
Even if you keep everyone alive and you don't kill Badger right here, Joan will still bring it up so that the townspeople go against you. Also, you might as well fucking shoot Max right here because you're not going to see him ever again. Because Telltale. So thanks for leaving yet another loose end in your stories, Telltale. Episode 3 in itself was just a huge clusterfuck of betrayal and death at every corner. There wasn't really much to comprehend because most of the time everyone's dying left and right. And in the end, not much changes. You still get locked up, you still get betrayed by Joan, and you still try to expose everything to everyone, but nobody, for some reason, nobody wants to help you out.
Just look what he's done.
Where's the option to defend yourself against her? In fact, where's the option to say, no, I didn't even kill him? This entire segment was kind of poorly written. No matter what you say or what you do, no matter what, Joan will always have people lose their shit on you. It would have been cooler for Telltale to have it so that your choices could actually impact this part of the game by swinging the vote from one side to the other side of people, so that maybe you could even swing everyone in your favor and everyone would turn against Joan. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Too bad Telltale just doesn't want to do that for some fucking reason. Eleanor's betrayal makes no sense. I've watched other playthroughs, and it seems like Telltale expected most players to kill Conrad when he threatens Gabe. Because if one does so, Gabe later reveals this to Eleanor and Tripp, which is granting her some form of motivation to betray the group. Without the choice to shoot Conrad, Eleanor's motivation to betray the group seems unreasonable.
Come on, Javi. Who's it gonna be? Your friend or your brother's lieutenant?
Tripp has to live. He's invaluable.
Son of a bitch.
Javi, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You're not making David happy. But I respect you for sticking up for your own people. Shoot him.
Wait! I said Tripp should live!
You did, but there's something else you need to understand. Betrayal.
You can't do this!
Fucking figures.
I can do anything I want. You brought this on yourself. Do it.
Joan.
No!
This actually seems like a very clever choice for Telltale to make. Obviously, in this segment, whoever you choose to live will actually end up getting shot and killed. When you choose this person to live, somebody else gets pissed off at you. The one that's alive will be frustrated that you didn't pick them. Now it would seem that Telltale would build off of this in the next episode, but they don't. They really don't. Like, you get like a 15-second conversation with them, and they seem sort of mad at you, but then they just forgive you for what you've done to them. What would have made episode 5 more interesting, and to give it more content, instead of killing off Tripp or Ava right away, keep them around and have them develop a resentment towards Javi because they weren't saved by him. Even though some players might go back to save their character, in reality that character would eventually start to hate them. And this would have been an awesome move for Telltale to make, but they totally fucking wasted this opportunity and killed the character in 40 minutes after the game starts in episode 5. Like I said, they should have built off this. This would have added more content, it would have been more interesting, and it would actually make player choices seem like they matter more, especially in episode 5. No, instead Telltale just took the route of kill that character off as soon as they come up again. It was a wasted opportunity.
What the fuck, Javi? Is he telling the truth? You murdered my friend? What the fuck did you do that for? You looked me in the eyes, man! You let me think the walkers had killed him!
Thanks once again, Telltale, for not factoring in my options from the previous episodes. I went back and replayed this, and I told Tripp that Conrad lost it in the tunnel. I never told him that walkers attacked him. I straight up told him Conrad lost it, and I defended myself.
Attacked us.
What do you mean? What happened?
He and Clem started arguing, and then shit just went south.
But apparently forgot all about that, and apparently I told him the walkers got him. Again, my choices and now my dialogue doesn't seem to matter in this game. I don't even have a smart-ass comment about this one. Just broken.
Kate, you hit Conrad.
What? Is he...
Yeah.
Oh, God. Wait. No!
Holy shit! Oh my god!
David. No!
Am I honestly supposed to be pissed off at David for this? He's the only one making rational decisions at this point. Fern just aimed a gun at Kate and Javi. threatened to murder us, and David is keeping us alive. This is the same type of shit from Season 2. This is an Arvo situation right here, man. It's just like Kenny and Arvo. In fact, it feels like this entire story leans way too hard on his predecessor. It's got the same type of personalities, some of the same people, same situations. No, I'm not gonna feel bad that David protected the group by breaking this bitch's arm and shooting Rufus in the face because he was gonna turn. I get that the game is trying to portray him as an evil person, but he's anything but. This is like Kenny. This is almost just like Carver as well, because in Season 2, Carver was meant to be an evil villain. He was supposed to be the antagonist. A lot of people didn't like him. I didn't like him at first either. But the more you look at it, he was doing things to keep people alive. He was just trying to protect people. He was trying to protect Rebecca and his baby. Just as David here is trying to protect his family. Uh-oh, a rickety helicopter. Let's try to go across. Hope I don't fall. Oh, whoops. I feel like every single situation in this Walking Dead season is just feels so scripted.
I can handle this! Oh, shit.
Trip!
Don't give up!
Oh my god.
He'll figure this out.
Y'all head out now! I don't want you seeing this!
Come on!
Motherfucker!
Trip! No!
Ah!
Like I said, it feels scripted. By the way, we never saw his body, so expect Trip to pull a Kenny in Season 4.
You're not taking my family from me!
David, if you stop!
Fucking asshole! Fuck you!
Guys, stop! That's enough! Both of you,
This
stop!
part angered me as well. It doesn't matter how many times you agree with David. It doesn't matter if you refuse Kate. None of that shit matters, because David will still lose his shit and attack you. It doesn't make sense. Why couldn't our choices matter right here? Seeing the trailer for this made me actually expect that if you chose to go with if you chose to kiss Kate, that he would lose his shit and he would find out about it. But no, it doesn't matter, because she even says that she hates both of you and hates Javi for ever loving him or whatever, and he still breaks out in a fight. Like, I don't fucking get it. Our choices should matter right here. After all the shit I did, almost every single dialogue choice and every single choice I made throughout this season was for David almost. But none of that matters, and he still attacks me anyway, so I don't get it. This part kinda, it's frustrating, man.
No! I tried to stop him, Javi. That's when we crashed.
God damn. David!
He fought for me, Javi. Until they... But I couldn't. There were so many. I fucked up. After everything you taught me. Oh, it really hurts. Really bad.
You didn't fuck anything up, buddy. You fought as hard as you could. I'm proud of you.
I tried. I really did.
I know.
No, Gabe! No!
My playing cards. Grab them. Teach AJ euchre. Okay?
Okay. Bye, Gabe.
Bye, Clem. Hey, wait.
Yeah.
Can I have one more hug? Thanks.
Of course, you dork.
Give me your gun, Javi. I don't want it turn into a muerto.
Gabe, I don't know if I can let you do that to yourself.
And I can't make you guys do it for me. Just Just give me the gun. Hurry. Javi, you have to hurry.
No. No, Gabe. I'll do it.
Okay. Okay. You may not be my father, Javi, but you are a great dad. I love you, Javi.
I love you too, buddy.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have this ending. Yeah, Gabe was a shithead, but this ending's sad as fuck. I don't think he deserves this, but whatever. This might be the saddest ending you can get. Unless you're a Gabe hater, then it'll be the happiest ending you can get. Point is, though, but all the endings, they try and they attempt, and they do a pretty good job at the emotional part of it. You can hear it in their voices. Everyone's shaky, crying, tearing up. I like it. They did this part good. Conrad pops up here for a little bit if you kept him alive. I think this is a pretty nice move on Telltale that they didn't just kill him off. And on top of that, Conrad actually makes a difference in the game. He opens up a bunch of dialogue options. He opens up different situations. He actually contributes to the story if he is left alive. In episode 5, you don't see Conrad until right now. He's basically an expendable character that he doesn't have to stay in the story whatsoever. But it's nice to have him in the story. But the problem is, Telltale should have been doing this for a long time with different characters 2 seasons ago, instead of just starting to do it right now. This final cutscene after the credits is horrible, man. First off, it never ties up anything about Clementine's story, which means that Clementine being in Season 3 was useless. There was no point to having her in here except to literally please the fans because she was in the story for a little bit. No, she's nothing but a side character, and a pretty lazy one at that. Her story has not changed much since Season 2. What really happened for Clementine is that she lost Kenny or Jane. Or, depending on your choices, she lost nobody at all. Telltale, baby! You should have not have had an ending right here. Why can't we get AJ? Why can't we get something? It was pretty bogus enough to have our characters die at the first fucking episode, but at the end of the season, Clementine's problems are still there, and nothing really happens to help her story or help the plot of Clementine whatsoever. I said it once before and I'll say it again. There were so many better approaches to take for this ending for Clementine. At the very least, if you were trying to please fans so much with Clementine's story, you could have showed us AJ. Instead of ending it with her walking off into the woods, have it end with her finding AJ and having a fight with people like the New Frontier, for example. Say the survivors from the New Richmond accident ran over and teamed up with some more people that were protecting AJ. And now AJ's got bad influences, and Clementine has to fight her way with these people back and forth to get AJ back. And then you could have ended the story right there, but you didn't. And this ending for Clementine is not satisfying at all. It's not. It feels like you guys missed another opportunity. But Javier's story, I feel like, ended on a decent note. I was satisfied. It wasn't an amazing ending by any means, but it was an okay ending, and it works. Unlike Clementine, which I don't know why she had to be in this story. She added almost nothing to the plot, and her story did not really continue whatsoever after our characters in the flashback died. After that, nothing really happened for Clementine's story, so you should have just kept her in Season 4 You should have just saved her for Season 4 instead of putting her in Season 3. I still would have played this game whether or not Clementine's in it. In fact, I feel like with Clementine not in this story, I would have been able to appreciate it more.
Get back here!
A few side notes I want to add here.
Fathers become. To see what I've done. She'd be just like that little boy. Scared that the monsters are coming after her next.
How did Kate do anything? She literally was unavailable to us for 2 episodes because of her injuries. She didn't really cause the hole in the wall. It was New Frontier that threw a Molotov cocktail at her. But no, let's dance around and do this emotional bullshit that we don't need. And also, I find the lack of animation in Fern to be unsettling. It looks almost like puppetry at this point, and to be honest, there's a lot of moments in this game where they all look like puppets, just holding different props. It's a little weird. I feel like they should fix that, but it doesn't take away from the game too much. There's also a few funny glitches in there, but again, they don't really break the game that much. All in all, this is a good game, but if you're a hardcore Walking Dead fan, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much. If you're just starting out though, I feel like you'll enjoy it. In my opinion, I felt like this was not as up to par, but that's just my personal opinion. It doesn't mean I didn't have fun with the game at parts. I didn't really enjoy it in total. But that doesn't mean you won't enjoy it. I just want to support this community in saying that this game could have been a better game. There's a lot of cut content and other things. This game could have been so much better, but it turned out to be average, decent, passable. This definitely doesn't feel like the Walking Dead I remember. Don't get me wrong though, I'd much rather play this than Call of Duty. Yeah, anyways, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. Put in the comments different disagreements or agreements you had. If you found more things annoying that I didn't list, you can go ahead and put those down there and have a discussion in the comments if you wish. And this has been my review for The Walking Dead Season 3.